Ms. Gamblin?
Present.
Mr. Gunnelsberger?
Here.
Ms. Johnson? Ms. Warner?
Here.
Ms. Mazuka?
Here.
All right. All those wishing to give testimony, please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth? If you do, say I do. I do. All right.
We had the minutes from September. Has everybody had a chance to read them? So, what is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as provided.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Okay.
All
Old
right.
business.
You all got your emails in reference to the update on the account from Debbie?
Yes.
Any
Yes
questions?
and no. I mean, there was something in our packet that went from 7 to 6.
No, as far as the account for,
Donna?
the account balance for beautification?
Yeah, I think I did get a copy.
Okay, so that does sit at 31,000 right now.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We are recalling the case EN 2022-1626, Delora Johnson, for a progress update on 1503 Harrison Street.
My name is Delora Johnson. I live at 1503 Harrison Street, Sandusky, Ohio, 44870. I have got the gutters up, I have the windows covered, and all I got to do is above the door and paint the carport, and I have all of my other stuff done. And I showed them in the pictures.
Has code compliance, have they been out?
Yeah,
Out today earlier. So the photo that would be in front of you
Okay.
of the windows, showed me a photo on his phone. Those have been addressed. Apparently I was there before he had taken care of that. Gutters and spouts are up.
and one fell down.
And one little area of the vinyl siding that you're gonna take care of
Yeah.
off the carport. And then, right, there is some painting that's gonna need to get done on the carport, but majority of all that work has been taken care of.
They're here for the administrative penalties, so can I get a motion?
Before we go any further, I just wanted to ask, what remains to be done?
There's a section, so if we're looking at the packet in front of you, it would be 1, 2, 3. The fourth photo, there's a section of vinyl siding that's missing off of that north side,
Oh, I didn't know that.
or the aluminum siding. The next photo is going to be right along where it looked like this photo here. You can tell where it's gapping between the vinyl or the aluminum
Okay.
and the wall. And then again, just that exterior paint on that carport fascia. So, as he had indicated, the gutters and spouts are up. I did not see a downspout for the carport. He had indicated it must have fallen, so that's going to need to be resecured.
But you're saying most of the work has been done?
Yes.
Sir, how long is it going to take for you to get the rest of this done?
I'll probably get it done after the first. of
After
this-
the 1st of November?
Uh-huh. I'll have everything done, because I'll have some more money to buy some more paint. That's all I needed is the money to buy the paint and stuff. That's why I haven't addressed nothing over there yet. But after I get my check on the 1st, I'll finish the painting up and address that little thing on the side, and I'll be done with it.
More questions?
I'd like to make a motion to grant the appeal.
Okay.
Are you waiving the $100 then? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
grant the appeal of the
Yeah.
administrative.
Should we,
He appealed.
I'll second it.
He appealed the administrative penalty, so I'm making a motion to grant that appeal.
And I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Okay. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I'll call you after. Have a good one, man.
Recalling case EN 21-2058, Bonnie Dixon is appealing the notice or order of demolition of 717 Warren Street.
She didn't before,
Hi. State your name for the record and address.
Bonnie Dixon, the address is 717 Warren Street, Sandusky, Ohio, 44870. Last time I was in, you did request that I get a foundation inspection. I tried multiple people. I found that home inspectors can no longer do them. I called several basement, because he recommended I call basement contractors. 3 of them came out, they all told me the same thing. They could do waterproofing, so then we called foundation contractors, and they're quoting me $600 to $1,200 just for them to come out and do a written evaluation. That's not a cost that I was willing to do without knowing I was going to be able to move forward on the project. I did go through and did an itemized statement on how much it would take. Oh, also, the problem with the foundation you originally asked me about was because you felt like the house was deteriorated. I do have pictures. I took Sunday in the house when it was raining, with even the open areas shown. The house is completely dry. There's pictures of the crawl space. It's completely dry. When the repairs, this house has to be totally replumbed, re-electric, HVAC put in. It's only a crawl space, so whenever those contractors go down there to do that work, if they find a problem with anything down there, they're not going to continue the work. Once that work is done, the inspectors have to come out and inspect the work. So I don't feel like the foundation being an issue would hold up the progress on the house. You also asked me to come up with a timeline with my funding. I've done that. It will take me a whole year to get the house totally redone, starting with, now it's being pushed back because of the weather, but starting this month with getting the barrier that's opened up, sealed up, wrapped up. I can have the windows ordered in January and have them installed the very next month in February and onward.
And so are you're residing?
No, I'm not resigning. I want to rehab this house. It was, I started this,
Well,
okay.
Stop for a second. First, okay, so, one, I need the address, or we need the address of where you're currently living.
I'm sorry.
For the record. And then the other part that I was gonna ask, did you submit the financial stuff that we asked for?
You mean submitted it how? Like I wrote it up and
To
stuff?
code enforcement, and then they were going to get it to us.
A
No,
letter of credit from the bank, do you have that?
everything that I'm doing is through my financing that I already have. So I have my bank account money in there. I have my 401k that I can borrow against. I have a smart loan that I can get from the bank at any time. I have my Christmas bonus that's coming up. I'm banking on my income tax return that I get back. I know that now because I'm no longer, I was renting and staying at the house I was at now for a year, so now all that money that I was paying there is now able to go into this house to get funded. And then I can also get a refinancing once I get that house a little bit further along with the siding and the windows done, which would hopefully carry me through for the rest of that. So I don't plan on going to get a bank loan anytime soon until I get to a point where I can't go any further because I already have a mortgage loan. And I don't think that's necessary. I think I can get funding and financing through the HVAC people because I've talked to them. They do a financing program and all the window places do financing. So with my credit, I just want to go through them. But I'm not at that point in here to come in and get all those quotes and stuff from people when the house is in the situation that it is now.
So you have no bank letter of credit from the bank that you have enough money for these repairs and everything? You don't have that tonight?
I can show you my banking account, how it looks right
No,
now. That's the
no.
best
I don't think we need that.
I mean, no, well, okay, first of all, what is your current address?
1309 Sycamore Line.
Okay, so I guess the other question when I was asking, because you said that you were reading off something where you did try to go to several inspectors or
I-
about the foundation. You
I
said
was
that
reading
they-
over my thing that I had put together.
Okay, so, and then that's what we actually need copies of what you're looking at, of what you're gonna spend. Because again, if the house is more than so many percentages of deterioration, it's probably not gonna be worth putting that money into it, but we need to see.
Can I give you this so you can see what the inside of the house looks like? Because it's solid. I mean, it's definitely worth it. If this house is demoed, you will never be able to rebuild again a house on that property because of coding. So you need that to stay there. It's solid. So if I can show you the pictures, you can see what I'm saying. It's not like it's falling apart at all.
Well, who was in, one of the inspectors who went out to?
I was the inspector from code.
Okay.
Mr. Tom's the one who did the deterioration.
So, Mr.
inspection.
Tom, what is the deterioration amount of that house that we're speaking about?
Can you all put your mics down, Ron and Scott? There you go.
I have it at 69%, and the reason for that is, like she stated, there is no electrical, there is no plumbing, there is no HVAC in it. It's basically bare studs.
It's gutted.
So for a project house, yeah, it's set and ready to go that way, because I think they had all the plaster and everything out of it. So it'd be a good project house. I'm not disputing that. The back has some foundation issues. There was like an addition or something put on it, and that's been mostly.
I removed it, yep.
That's been mostly been removed, but there's still some foundation remnants for it. So that would need to be addressed. But, you know, a lot of the mechanicals in it have all been removed. So there's, flip side is, you got a blank slate to do what you want with it. Downside is, I can't give you credit for stuff there because it's all gone.
Right.
So it's from me, for a percentage point, it's being done as when that house was completed and built for the first time, and everything was up and operational. There ain't nothing there operational because it's all been removed. So, I mean, it would be a good project house, so I will say that.
Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
The sad reality is that you've had years to deal with it and have not, for different reasons. I understand that. We were anticipating having written documentation 2 weeks ahead of this meeting in our package so we could at least review it, to have the assurance that you have the financial capability to move this forward. You're telling us it's going to be a year for completion. We have no idea whether you can afford it or not.
I can vouch if I may.
Yes, sir.
Before you speak, what's your name, and I need your address.
My name is Paul Warren. My address is 1418 Dixon Drive, Sandusky, Ohio.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm her father, and I can vouch for $10,000 that she has access to that.
Okay, well,
Yes.
and I'm not being funny, I mean, but, so you said that she has access to 10,000, but the estimate that she passed to us says that it's gonna take close to 33,000, so close to $34,000 to get the house where it should be, based on her estimates. And then I'm just looking at the income part that she says that she has access to. I'm just doing it in my head, so basically.
It's about 16.8 that's on there, including the savings for a year.
Yeah, just going down what I'm looking at, yeah, so you're roughly in that $12,000 to $4,000 ballpark, so you need almost 20 to 20,000 to 25,000 to get this going.
Right,
And
but
it's at
some of-
69% deteriorated, so that's already telling us that you got a lot of problems.
I have a lot of things that need to be redone. The way the house is because, like I said before, I personally went in and tore all of that out. I spent a whole summer taking all that plaster down, getting all the electrical, calling and have it disconnected, because I was hoping to have it done within a year, several years ago, before the contractors ran out on me. Then I had to rebuild. Unfortunately, it was that way. The financing part on that, I'm not so, I personally wasn't concerned about all of it because I knew some of it I was going to go through the window people, so that amount for windows and stuff, I didn't have to have all that cash up front. It will be paid over the years through somebody else. So that's why I wasn't concerned about that difference that you're saying. That wasn't accounted for on there.
Lisa, you got a question?
You have good credit. You already told us that at the last, so this home equity loan, that's not even on here. I mean, that's
I wanted to do it on Warren Street.
on Warren Street.
I got it up so it was worth more money coming off of.
Great. So that 10,000 that you just stated, that's aside from what's listed on here?
Correct.
So we're already at 23,000 before there's even a home equity loan, over 23,000. If you cut all this here,
Yeah.
because with the 10,000 there and that's separate from this.
Correct.
And what is that 10,000? Is it's a personal loan or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So that's 23,000 plus there's a home equity, plus she said the windows people and the siding, or you said they both.
HVAC and the
HVAC both
windows.
offers financing for those projects. So that's another avenue of financing. And Mr. Tom said it's a good project house.
It's a good project house, but I think a year estimate is way under.
Okay.
I personally, I just don't want to see this dragging on for 3 or 4 more years,
Oh, definitely don't think, I want it
since
as
it's already been 6 years.
I need the extra income coming in. That house is a perfect house for a rental, the location of it. That's extra money that will come in for me, that will be able to pay off all the improvements. And I'm hoping that I won't have to get a home equity loan. I'm hoping my finances will be fine. So that's just going back into the house, into the community. I definitely am not trying to drag it out. That's why I looked, it's a very ambitious time schedule for a year because of all the stuff that has to be done, but it's doable. Very doable.
It's doable, anything is doable with the right amount of money thrown at it. Any problem can be solved with the right amount of money. The question is, do you have the right amount of money to do it? And are you doing this work? Are you qualified to do this work, or have you lined up a contractor or a series of contractors?
I have a series of contractors that will help me. I will be there by their sides to do it because I'm like to
That
learn what's
is
going
part
on.
of the package information that we were hoping to see, to get an idea of what their costs are going to be,
Gotcha.
okay? And you don't have that, that's just it.
Okay.
I think part of the problem is that she can't make any moves on this. Well, we tabled this issue to this meeting, and she has no certainty that the house is not going to be demoed. So contractors don't want to come out and provide some of this unless she has, a way to keep the house from being demoed. So she's trying to move forward, but she can't, is I think the problem.
But I think the way to keep the house from being demoed is to provide the information that we're asking for.
Right.
Okay,
And she
and
said that, she
And
said
then we
I
can
thought
move
that's
forward.
what I apologize, I didn't understand. To the extent, that's what I thought I had prepared. I didn't realize I was supposed to turn it in ahead of time and stuff. I thought I was supposed to come to the meeting prepared. That's what I thought I did. I apologize if it's not what you were looking for.
Okay, so we have a house that is, that can be restored.
I mean, it's like an 800,000 square foot home, so it's a small project.
Right.
So it's not like you're doing a big 2,500, 3,000 square foot, two-story house. It's a
Right.
single floor, blank slate, I mean, basically.
I just have the feeling that the costs are going to far exceed what you're anticipating, but that's not my call, that's up to you. You're the one that's going to be dealing with this financially. You have to make the decision if you want to move forward. We've waited this long, I suppose we can wait another month. I would like to see, though, the information that we're asking for.
Okay.
I'll give you another month, but
But then I still can't get any work done for another month.
You don't have to worry about doing any work. Let's make sure you've got the financial means.
It's just getting,
Let's make sure that the house isn't going anywhere.
It will,
no, it's just pushing everything further back. The weather changed, getting contractors, and it's hard finding contractors as it is.
She wants winter coming, she's not gonna be able to get anything done because of the weather.
I'm just trying to get it, at this point, I was hoping to already have the house wrapped, the front porch done, and the windows ordered about to go in. And because it's been pushed back, because I can't do anything until I know what it is, like I said, I don't want to invest money that I come back and you say, oh, no, we decided that we don't think it's worth it, you can't do it, we want it demoed. And now I've invested this money out here, not to mention my time, I'm sorry, I am a full-time worker. So I'm trying to make calls in the middle of days and taking calls at work to get this stuff scheduled and stuff, to get it in here. And then I'm having contractors show up and then tell me, oh, nope, we can't do that. And I said, I gave you specifically what I needed and everything. I know, but all I can give you is waterproofing, but don't look like you need that. And that's what I'm running into. So I apologize, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't want to keep pushing it further and further back because it's just delaying it.
At this point, we don't either, but like I said, from the last meeting when we asked you for everything, we did ask your contractor's name, the time frame you're looking at, the bank statement, how you're gonna be financially able to prove that you
Yes.
have the ability to get this done. So, we're not knocking what you're doing, and we like to work with you, but again, when we see stuff that is at 69%, that's where you need a contractor to really reassure you and us that the house is feasible to be done. That's just the
Well, I
bottom
had
line.
that's the thing. There was a contractor there that was doing the work. And then they left it high and dry. So I know that what's there is doable. And I apologize, I had Firelands or Great Lakes Electric come out. That's why I got the quote for the electric stuff. I didn't bring that paperwork. I didn't know. I thought I just needed to type it up for you. So that's my downfall.
We need the proof. We told you last month what exactly you were expected to do when you came here.
I didn't make it last month. This is from September, so I was trying to remember from August. I wasn't here last month.
I have a question. I have a concern about your estimate and your financing here. This is scary. This is really scary. You're dipping into your 401 and your bank account 1,500.
That's
So
available.
we
That's
don't,
not drying me out. That's what I have set aside right now that I've been building on.
we don't know how much you really have there. See, with the bank's letter of credit, they'll tell us all of this.
But are they, okay, so have them pull my credit and bring all of that in?
For her to bring.
And
What you want me to do? Because I don't plan on, it's not my issue to go to the bank to get a loan. That's what I'm saying, and I'm not trying to have a whole
No,
bunch of hits on my credit.
This is the bank telling us what you have in your savings account and if you can cover this or not.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
I would just like,
Wait, I still have one more
Okay.
question.
Okay, well, hold on. So, we're trying to come up with a plan. You had mentioned something in the beginning, so.
From the minutes of the past meeting, Mrs. Gamblin told staff to reach out to Ms. Dixon to inform her that she will need to bring all documentation 2 weeks prior to the October 31st board meeting to give them, the board, the opportunity to review same. A motion was made by Mr. Shara to table the motion for 30 days, giving Mrs. Dixon time to bring in everything to document the house is habitable, including financial, bank proof of ability to get the job done, statement of someone stating that the foundation is good, timeframes, contractors' names, and estimates.
That was last month?
That was for last month.
I wasn't here.
I know you weren't here.
So only thing, I did talk to Ron, he called me, he said that you gave me a continuance to come, and he said, make sure I bring financials, because you guys were big on that, and that's why I thought me listing what I had. I didn't know that you wanted my personal information and stuff. I guess that's what I didn't realize, that you wanted me to go and pull my banking and that. I just didn't think of, I put up the screenshot. I mean, I could show you those off my phone and stuff, where my finances are, but that's where the misunderstanding came. I
Okay,
didn't get all that detail, and the letter I got was just the standard letter that said it was scheduled for here and to have my stuff prepared and finances and stuff. So I didn't get all that detailed information you just said.
would you have the opportunity to assemble that information for us for the next meeting? And you will have it to us 2 weeks prior to the meeting.
Definitely.
So we have an opportunity to look at it. The problem with having information come in the night of the meeting, now we either have to adjourn to go to a caucus to sit down and review it while everybody sits here and waits for us, or if we have it ahead of time, we can, we already know what the content of the information is. So it would be helpful to have that information. So your financials, to let us know that you, from a line of credit from your banking institution is going to provide you have the funding to make this happen. And it would be a good idea to get an estimate from contractors who are going to be doing this work. You know, a heating system, plumbing, electrical, what that's going to cost, just to get an idea whether or not the information from your banking institution is going to provide enough funding to make it happen. There's no sense in having one without the other. You may start to become involved in the repair and make it be on the road towards bringing things to a good conclusion and then run out of money. Now what do we do?
You get more money. I mean, it's not a project that you just let sit. That's not my goal at all. You just figure out another way. You go get hustle, pick up another job if you have to. This is something that this is a goal of mine. I want to get it accomplished.
So do we.
So whatever I have to do, that's what I'm going to have to do.
So do we.
Ma'am, did you say you're going to rent this house out after you rehab it?
Yes.
Now, I heard something different from you.
Originally, she asked me what I was going to do with the house, and I told her at that time, I didn't know. I have 5 children. So, but the whole intent of the house is to fix it up. Originally, I was supposed to move into the house. It was supposed to be repaired. I was supposed to move in. When my contractor bailed, I couldn't move in. I purchased another home up the street so I could be close to do it, drop my rent, and I'd have availability to it and more funding. So that's why I said now it's too small.
You told us that you were going to rehab it to have your family when they come up on vacation and everything. Now you're going to rent it out?
She can.
The war.
Okay, I'm
It's-
gonna stop.
Yes.
She can change her mind. What we're asking for you to do at this point is to bring us detail. I mean, like, I'm not gonna knock that you put like the electrical, the plumbing. We need the names.
Okay.
Like, if you're using Fight Electrical or whatever, Fresh Electrical.
Okay.
So give us the names of those particular people that are gonna be doing this.
Okay.
I mean, because it say plumbing, I don't know, you could be doing the plumbing yourself, or you could be hiring a reputable plumber. So those things will help, the names in detail, your contractor, just like the gentleman said, you got the 10,000. You can put on there, family assistance, 10,000. So put all your ducks in a row and just make sure that you are more detailed. That's what I'm gonna tell you for the next month's meeting.
Okay.
So if you can get that to us, that will be fine. We're not here to try to tear up property or demolish it, and sometimes you're looking at it from one aspect, we're looking at it, I mean, we have no skin in the game one way or another.
Right.
So again, if we think that it's not going to be beneficial for you to spend that money, we're gonna tell you. Now, if you choose to spend it, that's on you, but you may be looking at, and you did say in the beginning, it could be some things they might find after they get in there. So then that may change your whole mindset. So again, just be more detailed, just get us the information that we're asking for. I have no problem with you bringing it to us next month, but we just need for you to get it to code enforcement 2 weeks before, because they get us our packets. That way we will have it and read it before today, or
Okay.
the next meeting. So
Do
is that a problem?
we need to address that foundation?
She can do that with her contractor, or whatever she needs to do. We're explaining in detail what we need now, so is there anything that you don't understand that we need to explain in detail?
No, I
You
don't
got
believe
it,
so.
okay.
Well, one more question.
Yes.
So like, since my dad said that he would give, anybody who says that they're going to help me financially, do I need a written statement for them? Or is it going to be enough for me to have it on there? Do you need something from their finances? What What do I need so I'm
We're not
covered?
gonna dig into your family, like who doing what. You could just say family. If you say family 50,000, you could have 10,000 members.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's just that, like, his 10,000 was not on here. So those things will help, because I know you said that you're not trying to go to a bank. So we can't force you to go to a bank, but we can see how this is gonna get done financially at this point. So, does anybody else have any other questions before we, make a motion?
I have just one question, and it's a legal question about, so I'm sorry, if we were, say, for example, to grant the appeal tonight, this doesn't take away code compliance's oversight of her property. Is that correct?
No, so if I'm understanding you correctly, if you grant an extension for 30 days to get,
No, not the table, not tabling her appeal. If we were to grant her appeal tonight, grant the appeal, it doesn't go away from code compliance's oversight. They would still be involved with what she's doing at the property.
so just to be very clear, this is recalling a case for a notice and order of the demolition.
Okay, and she appealed the demolition.
So if you made a motion to approve the appeal,
Okay,
I think that would be a little bit confusing to people. I think I would suggest, and the board has the prerogative to do it at once, but what you're trying to say is you want to extend this for 30 days.
no,
Okay.
this is my question. I'm
Okay,
trying to,
yes.
let me just ask it one more time. I'm trying to
Yes,
phrase
yes,
it correctly.
absolutely.
So if we were to grant the appeal of the demolition order, if that were to happen today,
Okay.
if that were to happen today,
Yes.
it sounds like we're going to table it. 'Cause
Gotcha.
it's not my.
Gotcha.
But,
Thank you.
if you were to grant the appeal, this doesn't go away. Code compliance is still involved with her property.
So if you were to grant the appeal,
Yes.
that would mean that it would not be demoed.
But it would still, code compliance would still be involved in, like, sending her letters and telling her what needs done, or it would just totally,
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Steve and Ron, can you confirm that?
I mean, from a code compliance standpoint, we're looking at the exterior. We're not going to get involved on the inside
okay,
between us and the building department.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I apologize.
I think I got it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
Okay.
everything was very, very clear on the record.
Okay, then I have
I would just, go
I have a
ahead.
legal question.
Yes.
Is it the right of this board to ask to see financial documents as to how a person is going to pay for repairs?
Yes, so
Okay.
I'm going to read the codified ordinance sentence to you so it is on the record.
Okay.
According to 1341.08, that's the repair, vacation, and demolition, the procedure, the remedy of city for noncompliance. The board can grant a 30 to 90-day extension for these types of cases upon a showing of satisfactory assurance to the board that the property owner or the interested party has the financial and practical capability of initiating and completing the required repairs. So that sentence is up for the board's interpretation, but if you need me to read that again.
I do.
I can read that again to
Why
you.
don't you read it again?
The board may grant an extension to a property owner or interested party for compliance with the provisions of this chapter upon showing satisfactory assurance to the board that the property owner or interested party has the financial and practical capability of initiating and completing the required repairs.
So we have to define satisfactory, huh?
That is for the board to determine.
And if I might take that just a step further, in the event of non-compliance to any extent or partial repairs to the premises by the owner, the board may at any time declare that the premises to be a public nuisance and declare that the premises be raised. So that option remains.
Yeah.
So if you get involved in this and find out 8 months down the road, I can't complete it, and it comes back to us, we have the right to act on the demolition.
I wouldn't expect anything less than that. I mean, that makes sense to me.
I still have a question for us. I don't mind giving her another 30 days extension. And if she has her paperwork in order at that time, and we don't go with the demo, I would put her under the variance. I would put her under the variance to be monitored. Can we do that?
I don't think a variance is at issue here.
No.
I think what we're talking about is, let me back up just a moment. So.
The
right-
variance is, I think Mr. Scott described to us, is that he makes sure all her i's are dotted and her t's are crossed on all this before she goes ahead on, her plans to rehab this and all her paperwork. That's what I thought. We can't do a variance on this then?
I'm saying,
Not on this, no. Bottom line is.
No.
We're gonna make a motion, we're gonna give you the 30 days to bring in everything that we've asked for. And we need it in detail.
Okay.
If it is not here in the 30 days, then we will approve the demolition.
Okay.
So, there's a motion out there, can I get a second?
Well, before you complete that motion, in order to have the documentation before us before the next meeting, which is the 28th of November, is that right?
Yes, sir.
If we're talking about 2 weeks ahead, that would be the 14th. Is that possible to do?
Yes.
Have that information
Because
November 14th?
basically what I have to do is you want the written estimates with a contractor's name. I need to contact my 401K and ask them to will they send me something that tells me how much is available? Or, I mean, I can look at it on the computer screen. I don't know if they will I can ask them if they will send me that. I'll get with the bank and have them print off my bank statements and stuff. That won't take
I don't know
long
if you
at
want
all.
to give us all that information.
So what information does she need to have?
Just the amount. Well, we have to find out what satisfactory me.
Okay.
I would,
Because
I don't even know if I can
that's
say
a
it
lot
loudly.
of personal finance.
Personal information, that's all I'm
Mhm.
saying.
That's what I thought, but.
Well, normally, when they go to the bank, because most people are going through the bank to do this, she is not trying to go through the bank. I mean, she has on here, like, the different monies and where her monies are coming from. So that's not a big deal, but just like when her dad said he had money to give to her, if she has other people and family members, she needs to include that in there.
Okay, so then would you need my banking information
I don't
as
need your
well?
banking
No,
information, that's what I said.
that I can
If
put
she
it all
got- If she
We
got
have
3
that.
family members that wanna give her 10,000, she can put family members $30,000
Okay.
and be done.
And we're not going to ask her who they are.
And that's whoever she chooses as family. The more detailed stuff we need are the people that's gonna be working for her, like the electrician, the plumber, the
Okay.
contractor.
Okay.
Those need to be detailed as far as those individuals.
Okay.
I mean, I
Gotcha.
could say today, I'm gonna fix it myself.
Right,
I'm
right.
not a licensed plumber, so
And I-
that's why we're asking for these things.
Right,
as
and
well.
I guess
You
on
have
my
to get permits
defense,
anyway.
I assume since it all has to be totally reran, it has to be inspected by the city when it's done. So that's why I just assume,
Your
well,
work permits.
everybody's going to have, it's going to be on file when they do it. But that's not a problem. I will get with them and get the names and put it on there for you.
Yeah, because most of them would be more than happy. I mean, you're required as a citizen to get a written estimate, even if you took your car to the shop.
Right.
They're required by law to give you a written estimate. So that's all we're saying. You know, you may change your mind and go with a different contractor, but for this purpose, you need to have detailed information on who's doing what.
Okay, that I can
And you
definitely,
have to get it to us.
and I can do
by
that in 2
14,
weeks. Yep,
And then the next meeting will be, I think, on the 28th.
I can do that.
So there is a motion out there.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Call.
Call. Ms. Gamblin?
Yes.
Mr. Gunnelsberger?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes?
Ms. Mazuka?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, hon. And stay in contact with code enforcement, because they will also help if she has questions.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, you're welcome. Okay, next case.
Next case, recalling case EN 23-1652, Ethel Thames, is appealing the first administrative penalty for 1610 McDonough.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. You can state your name for the record, please. One of you doesn't.
Sherry Thames, 1610 McDonough Street, Sandusky, Ohio, 44870.
Okay, the floor is yours, Ms. Thames.
Well, we were called back after being here last month. We were supposed to come up with a timeline of our finances. We were all supposed to come up with work that was supposed to be completed. We were able to do one job due to finances. That's pretty much what we've done so far. Everything else, we're still trying to budget and get done. I will be beginning a new job next month. Next month starts tomorrow. So I don't have any finances up to date, and I really don't want this to be a burden on my mom, who's on a fixed income, so a lot of it will be coming from me. So if we take these projects and break them down, we'll be able to do them ourselves. We wanted to get a grant, but we believe that the grants are done for the end of the year, so we'll try to revisit those in the spring, or in the beginning of the year, not the spring.
I need to correct something on that. You don't have to go until the end. There's some money still in the pot for just this occasion.
Okay.
So I would check with the city on that.
Me,
Pardon?
you're talking about repairs?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Money for repairs.
I'll get you a business card,
Okay,
the
thank you.
individual to contact, but there's still $31,000 left in that account.
Can I ask, do you all know how this works? How does it work with the
Matching funds.
securing,
There's going to be matching funds required on your part,
so matching funds?
yes.
And there's like a cap? What is their
It's like
cap?
50%, isn't it, matching?
Well, she's asking for a cap on the project, and that'd be a question for Debbie Eversole.
Okay.
But I'll get you her business card before you leave.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have you contacted code enforcement for what you've gotten done and they've come out to see?
We did, but unfortunately, we didn't do it 2 weeks beforehand. I was able to send that letter last Friday, and I think they got it Monday. My mom got a notice that they received it yesterday. So it wasn't enough time for you all to receive that.
I'm gonna ask,
We did. The notification came via email. It was pushed over to me. If you look in the packet, this would be the packet with this here on it. You go well, it's going to be a number of pages. The original step crack that we had identified in the garage, that has been mortared up, right, and it's been taken care of, so.
I did try to go over some of your letters, so is there a lot that they have that's left to be done?
A lot of their issues is all, excuse me, is superficial or
Paint.
the painting primarily. There is some issues with the garage. It's going to need a little more attention. And the garage door, you can see in the one photo there. Plus the fact is if things don't work out necessarily with the grant come the spring, there's a program that we use, it's a youth group that does free painting. All right, so that might be another option that we can afford to Mrs. Thames here, so.
What is the name of that?
That is, it's called the YES program.
Yes or yes, or S?
Yes, YES.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So.
So things are moving forward.
We've got a little bit of progression, yes, so.
I will make a motion to suspend the first administrative penalty based on the fact that you are moving forward. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Since we're getting into the winter months as well, it's more than likely this timeline's going to get pushed to spring anyhow. It's not conducive with temperatures in regards to paint. They would just turn right around and have to repaint again anyhow, so.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna ask you though, please stay in touch with him to do the winter and the spring so that we can, keep
Yes,
this
ma'am.
process going.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
It's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Roll call, please.
Ms. Gamblin?
Yes.
Mr. Gunnelsberger?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Mazuka?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're done. Thank you.
Could I ask a question? When we said suspend, you're not waiving the penalty, you're just suspending it
I'm
until
waiving-
30 days?
Excuse me, I'm waiving the
Yeah,
penalty.
waiving the
I'm
suspended
dismissing the
is
penalty.
only waived.
Okay.
Granted the appeal.
He just used a different term.
I
Okay,
used-
fine. She asked
Yes.
another question. Y'all
Hold
good.
it.
Y'all good.
Hold it, Chair.
I'm dismissing the penalty of $100.
Okay,
Fine.
gotcha.
Okay,
Ready?
next order of business.
We are recalling case number EN 22-2228. Renee Hahn is appealing the first administrative penalty for 904 4th Street.
If you would like to sit there, you can, that's fine. Ms. Hunt, can you state your address for the record, please?
1005 3rd Street.
I believe when we had our last meeting, we covered some things with you, so how are things going at this time?
I have a list of everything I tried doing. Didn't get the project completed, got one section done, but not everything. I was able to wash down the cedar siding on the back
Okay.
and apply a coat of weatherproofing to that. I was working with a guy, I called lots of people, which was on my list, and if I had a copy machine, I would have made you a copy, but called lots of different people, was working with a guy named Gabe, and brought to my attention by Helen here behind me, and he was just gonna help me out and see what he could do to get this done. He did have some troubles, though, when we hooked up. Weather was bad some of the days this month, and, there wasn't a good time for him to get it done, but he did come over and attempt, and what he did was he worked on the siding of the house, where the siding was, and he tacked up the paper and attached a few rows of siding that were, had come off. But he couldn't reach any further. And he wasn't sure on the ladder. This is what threw everything off, is because he wasn't sure how to secure the ladders. And mind you, he's doing this for free as a nice person. And he couldn't figure that out, and he was waiting several times. He was waiting on friends that were, supposed to come help him and show him or let him know how to do it or how it, could be done. But that just never happened because of the, between the weather and his friends backing out on him a couple times, it didn't show up. So,
Well, one of the questions I have for you is that when we, from last month's minutes, You were going to try to speak with your financial institution, which I believe was Vacation Land, and you were gonna see if you qualified for a home equity loan, and you also were gonna look into the community development program.
I called I called CAC, I called SOS or whatever, and I cannot go to the bank and ask for a loan for money I cannot pay back, so I'm just not, I'm sorry. I have no money, and I can show you my rundown of my bills and my income. There's no place to borrow money if they told me I had to pay back $20 a month, that I have $20 a month to give them to pay them back. There is absolutely, my income is $1,409 a month between my house, car, water, car insurance, gas, electric, trash, my credit card, the water bill on 4th Street and the taxes for 4th Street is over $1,082.49. I only get $1,400 and some dollars.
No, and we understood that last month. I'm not being funny or being disrespectful. I'm just asking. I know that was the plan that we had discussed.
Yeah.
And you contact Ms. Eversol from the city. That was what we talked about.
Miss Eversol from the city.
She is the community development person. You were going to see if she had funds available to help you with your projects.
But the thing with that's, she needs to make a 50-50 match.
Yeah, they
Or
sent me an application for beautification or something, but it's like I got to come up with 50, you might have it, and if I
50%
don't
of that.
have it,
Right.
and I'm not going to have it until next year, when my car's paid off.
Yeah, our minutes indicate that in January of 2024, your car payments are
Actually, it ended up being February, I just figured it out again, but
February,
yeah.
$300 to $400 a month available after
Yes.
February. So there's something to work with.
That's what I have, yeah.
And the other part of, the next part of that was to work on paying off your credit card debt.
Yeah,
Right.
so that I have,
So you can establish
Right.
an emergency fund and
Right.
have funding available.
Right, I'm trying to do my finances the best way I know how to do them and to get this accomplished. It's not like I'm not wanting to get this accomplished. I see the need, I see the reasoning, but we're talking about some paint and, maybe 8, 10 strips of siding. I don't, it's not like it's falling apart or caving in or there's anything wrong that way.
No,
It's
except
just-
that
It's,
the problems that exist without them being resolved lead to more problems.
that's why I'm
And we
trying
don't
to
want
get it
that
dissolved.
happening,
And
if
there
at all
isn't-
possible.
They've been that way for 10 years. I don't think they're going anywhere right now. It's not like
I understand.
you see, and I don't see any damage from, the problem. I don't see any, it's just, it's, in my side, it's just the looks,
Okay.
There is an issue there on the north side. We have, I don't know how many birds living in your eave. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah, and I want to get them
Okay.
out.
All right. So,
But is it against the law for birds to live in your eaves?
no,
or-
but to go along with what Mr. Gundelsberger had mentioned, right? Birds have a tendency to defecate in structures, and that's going to start causing damage to the
Wow.
interior.
Better be careful because I have 8 that live in my house.
Okay.
Where are the birds?
If you look at your packet, ma'am, it's
You're
going
in the E.
it's going to be the packet that's,
It's in the eaves?
it's in the eave. If you go through your photos there, you're going to see there's an eave where there's a number of birds that are perched and that are in there.
Doing that, Lisa had a question.
No, Ms. Hahn, you said you had the guy that was helping you, he's here?
No,
Oh, he's not here,
no,
okay.
no.
Okay.
He's, and he got a roofing job and whatnot, and now with the weather, there's gonna be no painting. I do have the paint, 5 gallons of paint. It's sitting, waiting to be used. The paint's right there. It's a matter of, well, this time of year, painting is not, I don't think from here on out, we're gonna have a day. And then it's just a matter of tacking up some more siding, if he can figure out who can show him how to secure a ladder on the angle of the roof. That's his problem. If it was just putting a ladder up, he'd be okay, but he's dealing with the angle, and he wants to make sure that the ladder is secure, because he's never done anything like that, so he just.
2 stories, so.
Yeah, and he's up there, and the day he was up there, it was rather, when he was just doing for as far as he could reach, it was rather windy, and then it started raining, and he, had to come to a stop. The weather wasn't great that way either.
Gary has a question.
I was just going to offer to make a motion to grant an extension of 120 days to allow us to move closer towards that payoff of your car. So you're in the ballpark to start generating some funds to put towards this project and work forward from there. Yeah, and we understand that now is not going to be a conducive time to be painting unless we have an unusual change in our climate. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll revisit this again in February. That's my motion.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Gamblin?
Yes.
Mr. Gunnelsberger?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Mizuka?
Yes.
So, Ms. Hyde, you're good at this point, but I'm just gonna encourage you for the next couple of months, please stay in contact with code enforcement, because this is what kind of got us here, no communication. So, and I'm not saying anything disrespectful or making you feel bad or anything. Just communicate and we will work with you.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
all righty, thank you.
All right, thank you, have a good day.
You too.
New business.
New business. Case number EN 23-041. Jerry Burkett is appealing the second administrative penalty for 817 Polk Street, Sandusky, Ohio, parcel number 58-01652-000.
Good evening, Ron Snyder, Inspector, City of Sandusky Code Enforcement or Code Compliance. So on February 14th of this year, while in the field, the said address was observed to have environmental housing infractions. Those consisted and noted eave conditions, gutter installation, downspout installation, exterior surface maintenance. Starting off with the eave issue. So to the west side of the house, it's going to be to the north end of that house. Soffit areas up there were unsecure. We had another area on the east side of the house where the soffit and the fascia boards were completely missing. You can also see where the downspout had come down and was connecting into nothing there. Gutter installation, no gutters on the front porch, no gutters on the east or the west side of that structure. Downspout installation, there was a downspout there on the south side. Originally would have connected into the gutter for the front porch. It's freestanding, and there's also one freestanding toward that northwest corner of the structure, but other than that, those were the only ones there. The front porch had a number of areas that were missing paint. Notice and order of violations was sent to the owner. 2/17/2023, contacted by Mr. Burkett, who was the owner. indicated that the issues observed were already in the process of being addressed. Weather conditions apparently halted the process. He reassured me that once the weather breaks, the issues would be addressed, and he was thanked for contacting me. We'll go back here for a moment. That was in February. Due to the fact that he had contacted me, and with the weather, his date of the next inspection was pushed out until May. However, in May, we were still getting inclement weather, so I once again extended his timeline out. And we got to June 21st, there was an inspection date, and there was no work done. The February conversation of weather conditions not a factor at this point in time, and was not contacted by Mr. Burkett on any changes and or updates up to that point. Subsequently, he was administered a $100 administrative penalty, where an invoice was sent, and I got no response from Mr. Burkett in regards to the first administrative penalty, nor has it been paid. On 7/21 of 2023, Mr. Burkett left a voicemail, return call, spoke with the contractor regarding the timeline. He didn't want to be penalized again, totally understood that. He said the contractor would be able to get to the said property in the next 2 weeks, and he needed an extension. He was subsequently given that extension, was able to check the property on the assigned inspection date of 7/24, so the inspection was done on the above date, which was 1 day later. Not surprised, no work done due to the voicemail and the indication or the request for that extension. Extension granted. His extension pushed him out until the 28th of August. Went out. Again, there was no work done. No gutters, no soffits, no fascia, no paint work done. He was subsequently violated for a second administrative penalty. Invoice, second admin penalty evaluation was done. So 9/13 continued. He contacted me. He questioned the second administrative penalty. Brought up contacting me in July, 4 days before the inspection date. Explained to him the extension was granted to the next inspection. The idea of 2 weeks versus the contractor not even starting. That's the last time he, the last time he had been by his property, he had explained to me it was approximately a month before. Claimed all the issues were addressed. However, the previous photos show that that was inaccurate. They were not addressed. Question having the penalties removed. Informed him I would check on the property next inspection date. If same work was done, I would grant an extension. Regardless of what I observed, he would need to file the appeal to address the administrative penalty. 10/2/2023, I did an inspection. All of the documented infractions had been abated at that time. That case was closed on that date. He subsequently filed an appeal and has brought us here. Miscellaneous issues. Mr. Burkett has owned this property since 1987. Look at the photo. Even in 2018, we have paint concerns in the front, and the photo over there on the very right-hand side was an issue that was going back as far as 2018, 2019. He has yet to pay this first administrative penalty, but filed no appeal for that penalty. This appeal that we are addressing today is beyond the time frame to allow him to file that appeal. We are over, was well past the 10-day mark. That would be indicated by 7-day anticipated delivery. September 8th, certified mail indicates attempts made on August 31st, 3 days, and then September 5th had 19 plus days to file. Found where mail was processed on August 29th, so in fact certified mail was attempted in two days, increasing the time frame to almost a month by certificate of mail. Where Mr. Burkett lives. and this is his rental. Do I have any questions?
I do. Did you say the abatements,
The abatements were
done?
complete, yes, ma'am.
so he's not in violation now?
No, that case was closed.
Okay, so what we're disputing here is whether to waive or make him pay the penalties, the first and the second penalty?
He's only appealing the second penalty.
Okay, the first one's been paid then?
No, ma'am.
No, he didn't pay the first one.
No.
He's appealing the second one.
He's appealing the second one.
19 days late.
So,
So, Mr. Burkhead here?
I do believe so.
Okay, if you'd like to step up to the podium, please. Okay, you state your name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Jerry Burkett, 140 Country View, Bellevue, Ohio. I'm here to see about getting a penalty appealed. And I really don't know what my personal property has to do with anything at this time.
Well, no, just because we had a picture, that's not a big deal. You're here because of the second administrative
Right.
penalty. It seems like you blew off the first one and we kind of let you do that. But, the second one, you made no attempt. So today, convince us why should we not
Okay.
enforce that $500 that you owe?
The $100 tax, I'll take that beating. For a $100 tax, I wasn't concerned. I talked to Mr. Snyder, an employee of the city of Sandusky, informed him that I had contractors on the job that were not doing the job. My godchild was helping me at the time. She would talk to contractors who were supposed to meet them. We got that worked out. And then as far as his timeline, it's fairly close. But I did send Mr. Snyder an email. And I've got proof of that. Or during the conversation, I didn't know the property had passed inspection, not passed inspection. Communication is a big factor in going both ways. If I'm the person you're after, I'm going to reply to you and answer your questions. And then when I call back, and if it's passed or not passed, I should be notified. Not knowing, then the money spent for certified billing is unbelievable. But on here, if you want to pass, that shows September 13th. Mr. Snyder replied to my email with a text only that says test. At that time, I'm no further along, so I called the code enforcement officer at his private number, explained who I was, and told him the work was being done, come out and get it inspected, get this behind us. At that time, he's told me that I should visit my property more often. I'm bringing the property values down in my neighborhood, and praised the property next to me, which has been empty for 6 or 7 years, which I've never complained about it being one step away from being condemned 6 years ago. And he's telling me how they went above and beyond and over, and how my property is affecting this. I've owned this property for 37 years. I was pretty proud of this little property when I got it. A lot of work's been done through the years. We had good tenants, bad tenants turned good tenants turned bad. But overall, it's been a good experience. I've provided housing in the city of Sandusky for rental property for 37 years. I've gotten probably 100 postcards from the city of Sandusky telling me that the inspector has went out there and seen my property and sent me a postcard and said, thank you for keeping your property up, whatever. I didn't think I'd ever need to keep them, but I've kept them. And I could decorate that whole wall.
And that's fine, but I'm gonna wheel you back, sir. So we're here for your administrative penalties. So
Okay.
again, you're not really telling us anything on why we should waive it. I mean.
Because on 7/20,
What I'm talking about here is from February of 2023 to September of 2023, he's, been out, did inspections, you sent some correspondence, he sent some correspondence, and actually, the penalty was actually, the $500 was put in play on July 21st. We're now in October, so you do have time to
I'm not,
basically request for that to be dismissed, but you didn't. Now the time
I'll
is
take the
passed.
$100 tax.
I'm not talking about the 100, we're talking about the 500.
Okay, that was, you said in July, it was September 28th, the inspection was reoccurred to the above property and I found in violation on the 28th of August.
Okay.
Okay, now, due to the facts that I can't control what happens, as we all know, August 24th, we had a 500-year flood and a major storm. I don't get contacted from the city of Housing, asked me, did I lose $5,000 in tree damage, which I didn't have coverage for? Did I have another property get damaged? No, I get the hammer drilled in. The 28th day of August, I get a penalty assessed. The property, you know, when a contractor's out there to get paid, he wants paid in full. It was a line to meet that deadline. I called Mr. Smith, but on the 21st, I called, 21st of July. Let me back up a second. Just in my experience, I don't know why on Valentine's Day of the year 2023, you would write up a violation for such stuff that you know can't be worked on for 6 to 8 months. It just doesn't make it.
But did you contact him?
Oh, I contacted him the day after I received the first letter. I'm sure.
That would have been why his timeline was extended out almost 3
Yeah,
months.
that's what I thought. I mean, I wrote down the different dates, and when you said that there were timelines extended due to weather and whatnot. So
Right,
at
and
the end of
then-
the day, but hold on for a second. Mr. Bundesberger?
Let's talk about the first administrative penalty.
Okay.
You didn't, from what I understand, you didn't file an appeal,
I'm not fighting that.
but you also haven't paid it.
Excuse me?
You also haven't paid it, have you?
Right, but I was waiting to see what was going on. When I talked to Mr. Snyder, did the property pass on the when he passed it on the 13th, I talked to him on he inspected on October 2nd. I talked to him like on the 28th, 3-4 days before the inspection to see if it was gonna pass. I told him the job was done. He says, well, I don't believe everybody that tells me that. I'd be running around in circles. Okay, you don't believe the common man that tells you the job's done.
I believe he documented that in photos.
Right, but so that was on the.
But nonetheless, we're talking
So
about.
the first $100 fine, my niece was helping me, godchild. She didn't like this conflict, so she backed out of it. The contractor she had didn't want to do the job. All we needed to do is run 36 foot of gutter, which I can't hang myself.
Regardless, you're responsible for the $100 and you haven't
I
paid it.
understand that. I'll pay the $100 fine.
So when you received your notice regarding the second administrative penalty, did you read it?
Yes.
Did you read where it says you have the right to file an appeal? You have the right to appeal this notice by filing an appeal within 10 days of the date of receipt of this notice? Did you read that?
I did read that. And
But
to my
you didn't
knowledge, I
file it
thought the
within 10
property.
days, did you?
I thought the property was already inspected and passed when them 10 days were up.
Inspection of the property is different than the administrative. So we're talking about apples and oranges, something totally different. So today, all we're here to address is the $500 administrative penalty that I stated to you, Mr. Gary just stated to you. You had time to appeal it and you didn't.
Because the work was going to be completed by the 28th, all good and said, if we don't have a 500-year flood and major storm damage, where the contractor has more responsibility to put a roof over someone's head than to run 36 foot of gutter. That's busy people are busy. They don't want to do a small job. The job was less than $500.
Mr. Burkett, how was I to know that you had flood damage or anything else unless you make a phone call and tell me that you have incurred some sort of hardship? How am I supposed to know that? My house didn't have damage.
There you go.
But I'm just saying, the whole area, I understand that this was going on, but you never bothered to let me know. I can't read your mind, sir.
But I don't think it's too far out of line.
We're gonna stop this as of this time.
And this is the main reason why we stress the importance of Communication.
I did call from day one.
Communication with the inspector. You had the opportunity to file an appeal on this second administrative penalty within 10 days, and you missed that opportunity. Now we're supposed to waive it?
The property was already passed because the work was to be done.
Has nothing to do with the property. I keep telling you that. You just don't keep beating that horse. No, it has nothing to do with the property. The penalty is separate from the property being repaired. That's the bottom line. So, back to where we're at. I need to know, we're here for the administrative penalty. What motion am I going to get?
I'm going to make a motion to deny the appeal based on the fact that you missed the 10-day filing period.
I second. It's been moved and properly second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 So you're telling me I owe $600?
No, you owe $500.
No.
What about the 600?
He didn't pay the first $100.
Pay that, so yes, you owe both of them, so you owe $600.
So someone that's been a housing provider for 37 years, nobody walks you through this process, how to fill out a reply.
Communication, you could.
No, that's not, that goes both ways. I don't buy
Well,
that.
as of
I had to
today-
call a local attorney to figure out how to get on your website
Okay,
to file the right paperwork. Because
Gotcha.
nobody sent me out a letter, said, okay, step A, B, C, okay, you're an out-of-town property owner, let's hammer you, let's do this. But for
Okay.
37 years,
you can make arrangements with the city or however you need to pay that, what you owe. The motion has passed. I need a roll
Roll
call.
call. Ms. Gamblin?
Yes.
Mr. Gunnelsberger?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Masuka?
No.
Okay. All right, and the last one for today.
Your case number EN 23-1889, Neil Ryder is appealing the second administrative penalty for 915 First Street, Sandusky, Ohio, parcel number 57-03170.000.
Okay, now, there we go. Good evening, Ron Snyder, Code Enforcement Inspector, City of Sandusky. The residents in question, 915 First Street, 7/21 of 2023, a citizen had rendered a complaint regarding the fence at the said address. Fence in question was to the east side of the parcel, to the rear of the residence. The fence, upon observation, was weather beaten. It had missing and broken slats. Leaning eastward, it had some structural integrity concerns. You can see the photos there, and the photos were also in your packet. Photos to the far left, weather beaten, missing slats. And if you look at the photo to the far right, you can see where that far end has come away from the support post and has started to lean toward the east. 7/21, same date. Notice and order violation letter was drafted and forwarded to the owners. It subsequently brought around 8/24 of 2023 as a reinspection date. There was no change, no work done to abate the fence. Prior to this reinspection date, the owners had made no attempt to contact me concerning the write-up. There was no knowledge of whether there was a hardship, acknowledgement the issue needed to be addressed, other circumstances that may have prevented the fence from being addressed. Can compare the photos from this date to the previous date, you'll notice that there's not a lot, there's no change. As a result, an administrative penalty was administered for $100. Notice an order of notice of first administrative penalty, failure of owner to correct the violations, drafted, forwarded to the owners. That's proof of mail invoice evaluation on the penalty. Same as after the initial write-up was sent, no attempt to contact me was made regarding the fence and/or the administrative penalty. Again, that first administrative penalty in this case has yet to be paid as of the preparation of the PowerPoint. 9/29/2023 was a reinspection date. As with previous reinspection, no work was done to abate the fence issue. As with the previous reinspection, no work was done to abate the issue. Second administrative penalty was administered for $500. Again, no contact by the owners to me at all in regards to this fence. The notice of second administrative penalty letter was drafted. We know that the owners got it. They have a signed green card. The invoice and the evaluation. 10/9/2023, the owners of the said property filed a request for the appeal of the second administrative penalty. Indicated in the letter or in the appeal, it wasn't on the standard appeals form, that it was in contract to sell. There was admittance that the fence is in need of repair. It was not a danger of anyone. They were not going to fix the fence. To reiterate, owner made no attempts to contact me by stopping into the office, telephone call, and/or email on status of the property or any of the information mentioned in their appeal request. Possibility of a different outcome if owner would have communicated, timelines, etc. There is, you'll notice I did place on your workstation or your in front of you, this property that had been in contract has sold as of October 20th, right? So it is under new ownership. The owners that were responsible at the time are no longer the owners. So, yeah. I'll answer any questions if you have any. Yes, ma'am.
Ron, so this gentleman doesn't own this property anymore?
That was sold as of 10/20
10/20?
on the auditor's website.
Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
as it's been explained to us, we start all over again?
Not in this case, okay? The penalty was administered when they still owned the property. So,
And there were 2 penalties.
right, there was 2 penalties administered. If we was to look at addressing the issue regarding the fence, yes, we would have to start over because we have a new owner.
Right.
In regards to the penalties administered, it still belongs to the previous owner.
The penalties follow the individual, not the property. So if they're not paid, then we forward them on to collections.
Well, that's confusing.
Not really.
That ain't confusing.
Not really.
I mean,
It's not confusing to me.
he sold
Nuisance.
the property is gone, but prior to him selling it, he had administrative penalties that were assigned to him. He did not pay this.
Okay.
Nuisance,
Maybe I misunderstood.
anything assessed as far as a nuisance is concerned stays with the property. Administrative penalties follow the individual.
Okay, so the new property owner, we're going to later have to confront him to repair this?
What will happen is that case will get closed under the previous owner, and it will go into a file that I keep separate. I give it a number, maybe 3 or 4 months, then I try to reach out to the new owner and go by and see what their intentions are with the abatement.
Okay, I got you now.
Okay,
Okay.
Sometimes they don't know. So is Mr. Ritter here?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to come up? Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Neil Ryder, 9615 State Route 99, North Monroeville, Ohio.
So I'm gonna just ask the hard question. So why didn't you pay the first or the second administrative penalty?
Well, I should have paid the first, there's no doubt about that, and I'm still willing to pay the first. The minute that I received the notice on the fence, it was right at the first time I started negotiating with the gentleman that bought the house. And I agree that I should have communicated that with him, and we would have a different outcome. But I didn't expect the contract was already in place. There was an offer made for the house, and I figured by the time we got that done, that there wouldn't be a second penalty. I'd still pay the first penalty. but it got drug out just a little bit longer because financing on his end. But I'm willing to pay the first penalty. I don't think I should have been assessed the second penalty because at the time that I started talking to the gentleman about the house, I told him there's an issue with the fence. And I said, but that's your decision, decide what you want to do with that fence. Either take it down, put something different up, and he said, that's fine. Well, it got drug out a little further. I should have paid the first penalty in time, I did not.
So how long was the negotiation? Because looks like you got this started July 21st. You were contacted on August 25th for your first penalty and September 29th for the second penalty, but the house didn't sell to October 20th.
Well, it didn't close till October 20th.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the offer would have been in place already.
The offer would have been in place, but it just seems like, as you said, for the first issue, there was no communication.
No, there wasn't.
Contacted him.
I'll agree to
say
that.
Then we wouldn't even be here today with
Right,
this.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Sir, is this house a rental
It was,
on First Street?
it was,
Okay.
but it was empty at the time. It had become empty during June. I was gone the whole month of June to Alaska. I didn't even know it became empty. That's why when I came back, the grass looked like that. And I had to start taking care of things of the house, decide what I was going to do with it. I wasn't sure if I was going to invest money in it, keep it, or sell it. So about 2 weeks into July, I decided I'm going to sell it. And I offered it to a gentleman, and he thought about it for a while, and I never put it on the market. But then he decided he was going to take it. And then we put together an agreement, and then we had to wait on him. And then he went on vacation for 3 weeks. And then when we got back, we closed on it, or we didn't close on it, but we finalized our agreement and then went to closing.
I think, for me, the thing that is disappointing, frankly, is the fact that you have indicated by letter that the fence is not going to be repaired by the sellers, despite the fact that the fence does need some repair. You're admitting that there is an issue with the fence.
Well, there's even more of an issue with this fence. That fence doesn't belong to me.
Whose fence is it?
I don't know. I did not put that fence up. It was not there. It was not there. I think Wagner, the neighbor, put it up because he had a feud going with the neighbors, with people that I had renters in there one time. I did not put that fence up.
Have you ever had the property surveyed?
No. It's probably sitting on my property.
I guess, no, my question would have just been if we would have got to that point with
Yeah.
a phone call, then we wouldn't even have gotten to an
Yeah.
first administrative penalty. And if we'd have known, if we could have determined those facts.
Yeah. I know.
So we don't know if it's on his property or not,
What's that?
the fence?
That fence is, basically, if you look at it, I'm not a surveyor.
It's probably sitting on my property, but I didn't put it there. There was a chain link fence there when I bought that house and for years after I first rented it. And one day that fence appeared.
Would that not raise your interest?
Well, here's the thing. I purchased that house 30-some years ago. Never wanted to be a landlord owner. I've always kept the rent low on that house. I've always put people in there that took care of the house, that did not call me every 5 minutes for something broke or needed fixed. I stuck a lot of money in that house when I first bought it. New windows, siding, new furnace, you name it. That's why when this came up, I decided, okay, it's time to get rid of it. I don't need this aggravation. I'm too busy. I have a business to run. That's what happened. Did I not communicate with him? Yes, very guilty of that.
Sir, I have a question. About this fence here. You say it's on your property, but you didn't put it up. But yet you didn't question the fence on your property, like, where did this come from? Who put this up or something, you know?
He don't even know if it's his property. He said
And the city.
somebody else put it up, so it could be on his property or it could be on the.
It wasn't hurt nothing.
But if I got a bill from the city for $500, if I wanted a penalty for $500, I would say that I quickly get that surveyed to find out.
Oh, no, would have been for the $100, not the $500, the $100. I'm gonna go pay a surveyor to survey that fence and pay that, I might as well pay you the $600. No, I don't care about that fence.
It says here, it says here that you're on your second penalty, which is a $500 penalty.
Yeah, that's what I'm appealing now. I'll be willing to pay the first penalty, I'm just appealing the second penalty. Because of the timing of everything to sell the house. That's it.
It doesn't add up.
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to grant his appeal of the second penalty based on what was presented today about the fence not even being possibly on his property. I mean, he didn't communicate and he admits that. So that's, I mean, I don't know.
I'm gonna add it
I
to
don't
the
wanna-
motion. He'll have to pay us the $100.
Right, yeah,
But-
just.
No problem with that.
Okay, so I second her motion.
So we have a total of 600?
He owes 100, we're
No.
waiving the $500.
Okay.
So, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 No opposed? Roll call, please.
Ms. Gamblin?
Yes.
Mr. Gundelsberger?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Mazuka?
Yes.
Motion
Okay.
passes.
Can I get a adjourn? So you owe the 100, sir.
Yeah.
And you slid by the skin of your teeth on that 500. I'll pay that, okay?
Thank you.
So, thank you. All right, can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Second.